What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rick Kakis, and today, guys, we need to talk about the brand new Vow of the Disciple raid weapons added to Destiny 2 with the launch of the new Witch Queen raid, because these are broken. They're busted. They're bussin'. Brother, believe me, every bait you can think of applies to these weapons, guys. This might just be, this group of raid weapons, the most powerful set of weapons in Destiny 2 history. The power creep here is absolutely unbelievable, and there's several reasons why, so let's get into it. But just before we do, guys, did you know myself, True Vanguard, and MTash host a podcast that almost nobody watches because we forgot to shout it out on our main channels for about 6 months? Well, let's hopefully change that, guys. The Real Gamer Hour podcast premieres every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We talk about the craziest things to happen within gaming for the past week. Sony buying Bungie, the latest Twitch debacle. We have it all, guys. It is so much fun. Definitely check it out. It is linked just up above. Click that card. Alright, I hope you guys show up to that, but on to what makes these raid weapons just so darn powerful. Obviously though, if you want to get them yourself, you're gonna have to beat at least parts of the new raid, but don't fret, I have released my complete raid guide. It is linked up above. Check it out. It's more accessible than you think. Alright, so first things first, we need to look at the origin trait. Introduced with the Witch Queen, origin traits are a way to distinguish groups of weapons. So all the weapons from Season of the Risen, right, that you get from PsyOps, they all have that land tank origin trait. You have Suros weapons with an origin trait. If it's a Suros weapon that also drops from a Nightfall, it comes with a Nightfall trait and a Suros trait. So these origin traits, again, are an important intrinsic perk that distinguishes these weapons, and it turns out all of the Vow of the Disciple weapons have the same origin trait. So we're actually going to have raid origin traits going forward. And for these weapons, the origin trait itself is actually called Soul Drinker. Gain health based on the number of hits before reloading. And guys, I think this is the best origin trait currently available in the game by far. I mean, look at the other traits. You have Land Tank, and you could make the argument that the extra damage resistance was pretty good for PvE. It really was. And then in PvP, you have stuff like the Suros origin trait, which can reduce flinch. That's pretty darn good too. But just gaining health, I mean, that's like the number one thing you want to do. Everyone is running 100 recovery for a reason if you take an endgame build, for example, because they want that health regeneration. Health is so darn important. Staying alive is the most important thing you want to be doing all the time in the game. Because if you're dead, your build doesn't work very well, right? So, Soul Drinker providing health it's the most valuable resource. Now, I'm not going to front here, the health it provides often, especially depending on the gun, isn't all that much. Like, you're going to see it constantly activate in the background gameplay, but it is just giving me little ticks. The thing is, however, this origin trait is a lot better than it first appears. Number one, it actually does say hits, based on the number of hits. So if you're fighting a bigger enemy, if you're fighting a boss and utilizing perhaps the new Raid Linear Fusion Rifle, you are still going to be getting health when you reload that thing. So again, not having to require kills is a huge factor in why this thing is so good. And like I said, often the result is minor. But you can make the result pretty major, especially with certain weapons like the submachine gun. There's a 900 rounds per minute raid submachine gun, and as you can see here, guys, you can get subsistence with it. So if you kill a few enemies, you're getting a lot of shots. Then, as you can see, when I reload, I get a chunk back. Like, I get somewhat like 50% of my health back from Soul Drinker. And now we're talking. Like, this is not a minor thing anymore. This is a massive chunk of health back. And it will absolutely save your life. And it even works in PvP. That's why the Pulse Rifle is starting to see more and more play there, because, heck, if you gain 10 health in the middle of a firefight, you can completely screw over your opponent, requiring them to shoot one whole extra shot. And for a slow shooting hand cannon, for example, like, that makes all the difference. But guys, that's not the only thing making these raid weapons so good. The other factor is that they fit into a lot of extremely unique archetypes. For example, there's a grenade launcher from the raid, and it's actually the only arc wave frame grenade launcher in the game. The fusion rifle is a stasis, the first ever stasis fusion rifle. So now you can use a fusion in that kinetic slot. Do you know how many different build possibilities that opens up now? How many different amazing energy primaries you can use now and also combine it with a fusion? Like, that is just insane. In fact, now you can run this fusion in the kinetic, any normal legendary fusion in the energy, and then the 1000 voices for the triple fusion rifle extravaganza build if you really want to. But in addition to all of that, the perk combinations are just god tier. Like, absolutely unbelievably powerful, right? So, for that grenade launcher I was showing you, well, I mean, I have here Ambitious Assassin Rampage. Insane, right? This can actually get chain reaction to a chain reaction wave frame grenade launcher. Just busted. Oh, and by the way, this thing synergizes with the origin perk so well because you're reloading after every single shot, getting constant health back. Oh, what about that Pulse Rifle? Well, it can actually get stuff like Demo Rampage. I absolutely love that roll. So good in PvE. But it can get Dragonfly in the left-hand column, so you can get Dragonfly and Rampage. You can get Dragonfly and One for All, so you're getting that 35% One for All damage bonus and causing enemies to explode, and I think that the damage bonus even applies to the Dragonfly explosion. Just insane for ad clear. The SMG can get Subsistence Frenzy, and the linear I'm gonna pass out going over the Linear Fusion Rifle's perks, guys, because it's insane. So the Linear Fusion Rifle from this raid, it can actually get, in the first slot, it can get 4th times the charm. So 4th times is significantly better than triple tap, which the Reed's Regret Trials Linear Fusion can get, depending on what your magazine is. And because the base magazine is 5, it means if you get an extended mag perk and get this Linear Fusion to 6 rounds in the magazine, guys, what happens is that 4th times the charm triggers twice, just like it does on the Aikilos snipe rifle. So that means you're gonna get 4 extra shots out of thin air with your 6 initial rounds. And if that wasn't enough, in that second slot you can get, just like the Aikilos snipe rifle, high impact reserves. So yes, that means you're going to re-trigger high impact reserves multiple times. Each shot from high impact, if it's the last 2 shots, gives you 26% bonus damage. Like, your damage output with 4th times and high impact with this linear fusion, it's just so far and above what other linears can do. It's not even funny. And if that wasn't enough, if you don't want to do that combo, instead of high impact, you can get Clown Cartridge. So yes, you can get 4th times plus Clown Cartridge. So you're potentially getting, what, an 8-round magazine or something with Clown, and then you're getting 4th times on top of that. Guys, you're potentially pulling in like 6 extra shots with you're potentially doubling your magazine size, getting 12 shots out of this linear fusion without having to reload. Like, just absurd. So with all those factors in consideration, again, like, I really don't think we have a set of more powerful weapons in the game. The fact that the origin perk is so useful and is very, very helpful. The fact that there's these extremely unique archetypes that exist here. We're getting some of the, first ever, wave frame arc and stuff like that. And then also the fact that the perks are just bananas. What normal weapons would be lucky to have for 1 perk, these are going to get, 2 damage dealing perks, in the right and left column. It's just absurd, the power level of these guns. So guys, even if you can only beat the first encounter, it is worth it just getting a few of these weapons, because thankfully you are able to craft them. That's right, all of these raid weapons are craftable. Now, it does take quite a while to get the red versions of these weapons, but if you stick at it, you can get that and combat that terrible RNG by just making a god roll yourself. So guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.